Sir Markadu with Sir Media Group, another show right here, right now. We are talking about processing, ladies and gentlemen. Processing. We're here with Gary, talking about processing, wholesale style. There's a lot of us out here in the markets. We don't know how credit card processing works. But there's something that my constituents, ones that handle lots of money and dealing with those lots of people and products, need to know what wholesale pricing is when it comes to credit card processing. So we're gonna get right to it. Well, this is Gary. How you doing, Jay?
I am doing fine. How are you doing, sir?
Fantastic.
Good.
Check this out.
Okay.
All right. I want to ask you a couple of facts out of questions. We'll start you from the beginning. When you was coming up in life,
okay.
Let's say the ages when you was like 4th, 5th grade, you're young. What was you doing? What were you thinking about?
Well, I was going to school trying to get good grades.
Oh, so you were a brainiac, huh?
Well, not so much of a brainiac. I was like a B student, but
nice.
I like business and I like numbers.
Yeah. There's numbers. That's what.
Right.
Now, as you begin to get up into your high school years, what were you doing then? Did you have your own business or own routes or anything like that?
No, not really. I was actually playing basketball, in high school. I played basketball for 4 years, but I did
What city? What state?
I was in New York.
New York. Okay.
Long
what
Island.
School?
Hempstead High School, which is on Long Island. Okay. But while I was going to school, of course, I was playing basketball. I also liked accounting.
Yes.
So I was pretty good with numbers, and then I went off to college. I didn't finish college. I went to technical school for computers.
Yes, so higher education.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, in that higher education, what was you doing?
Well, I went to a technical school, something like a DeVry. Mine was called Suburban Technical School. That's back in 80, 82.
Yes.
And I went there for about a year and a half and got me a diploma in digital computer technology.
Nice. That's nice. So you're real techie.
Somewhat, yep.
When the new toys come out, you're the kind of like trying to catch that new toy and stuff like that.
Well, pretty much. I'm like a gadget man. I like little things that make technology easy in reference to GPS systems.
It made life easier.
Absolutely, you got it. You got it. Better said.
So, as you begin getting into your working years,
sure.
What was your life like then?
Well, when I came out, out of technical school, I went to work for what we call a military company. That's when Carter was back in office. You had all these big contracts, and I was working for a military company doing quality control. I was always around a bunch of, military equipment, doing the inspections and numbers and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yep.
And so, what transformed you to do credit card processing? Something had to happen. Something clicked, because who in God's name picks credit card processing for a living, for a career? And you have to know something. Something had to happen to trigger you there.
That's an excellent question.
Especially for our youth.
Right.
Especially for our youth out there. Man, you see, kids, you never know when your life is going to change at a moment's notice. So listen to this man. He's going to explain to you what happened.
Well, what happened, I was in New York. I came down to Atlanta in '89 and worked for a couple of companies. Then I got a job with MARTA. Everybody knows who MARTA is. If you live in Atlanta, they're the transit system. I worked for MARTA in customer service.
Yes.
For about 7 8 years, and I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something different for myself because I've been in the corporate atmosphere for over 20 years. And what happened, I worked in customer service. I said, if I was going to do customer service, I want to do customer service for somebody else.
Wow.
I want to have
that was a big
right. That was
process.
Yeah, that was a triggering move.
Yeah,
so
but the brain was working.
Oh, absolutely. So I wanted to work for myself and take care of my own customers and have relationships.
Nice.
That's how credit card processing
But
came.
why credit card? I mean, where did that come from? When you see a commercial, because nobody sees commercials.
You're right. You're right.
What? No pun intended. What process? A process had to take place. It could be I had work for the MARTA, and then I said, okay, I'm a processor. Something triggered your brain.
Well, Put my resume out there. I got a phone call from a company in
You
California.
put a resume into processing?
No, I put it on the internet, monster.com.
Looking for to be a processor?
Not to be a processor.
To be what?
I wanted to work for myself. Sales.
Sales, but you didn't know what sales.
I didn't know what sales.
I thought.
I didn't know what sales. The first thing I really started with when I got my first phone call was Primerica.
Okay.
Everybody know who Primerica is. They're pretty much one of the biggest insurance companies out there.
Buy term and invest the difference.
Correct. But my thing is I wanted to control my own destiny.
Right. You want these to be your customers.
They're my customers,
And
harder.
belong to nobody else.
Correct. I went out and got for myself.
You earned them.
I earned them.
Yes.
Right. So I gave it a shot.
Wait a minute. You still didn't answer the question.
Okay.
So resumes went out.
Resumes
looking
went
for
out.
Sales.
Looking for
First
sales.
it was
Primerica.
And then what happened?
Then I got a phone call from a company in Casablanca, California, named Card Payment Solutions.
Okay.
Okay. They called me, we talked, and that's what happened. I said, well, let me give it a shot. I had somebody meet up with me.
Credit Card Solutions, you said?
Was called Card Payment Solutions. Right. I had a regional manager call me, we talked about it, and I said, why not? I said, let me give myself the opportunity to find out what it was all about. And the first week I went out with him, he was pretty much helping me, training me. And that first day I wrote a deal.
You had to write up the maps.
I was sold from there. You know, I wrote up a deal and I liked what I was doing.
You left the residual income.
Yes, you get two forms of income in this particular business. You get paid on a daily or weekly basis, and then you get a check at the end of the month based upon how many customers you have and how much they process credit cards. Correct. Correct.
Now, you've been doing credit card processing for how long?
Since 2003, going on 11 years.
So it's going on 11 years.
Correct.
So you went through the bumps.
Absolutely.
You went through the potholes.
Yes.
You know, went through all the hanging from the cliffs, climbing
Sure.
up, scratching your nails and pulling your hair out.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got no hair now.
And now, 2000, I met you this year, I believe.
Absolutely.
Okay. So 2013. Tell her, how did we meet? How did we come about?
Well, the way we met, because you were dealing with the processor, okay, and you knew that you wanted better pricing.
Yes.
You're a wholesaler.
I've been begging for better pricing for years because I'm a wholesaler. What you say that?
You're a wholesaler.
I'm a wholesaler.
Right.
So I'm always looking for what when I wholesale?
The best price out there.
Everything in what? In wholesale.
In wholesale.
Right.
Right. So you wanted the best price out there,
Absolutely.
and pretty much we talked.
Yes.
And I pretty much
No, but we didn't talk.
Okay.
At first. You were talking to Mark.
I was talking to your, yes,
Because
right.
I didn't even know you.
Right.
I didn't even know my son even was making deals in the background.
Yeah, he was. He was asking some good questions.
Right.
You know,
Fact-finding questions.
Fact-finding questions. I gave him fact-finding answers.
There you go.
You know, so I pretty much gave him the information he wanted. He came to you.
Yeah.
You know, and that was in November. And in December...
Oh, I met you in 2012, but go ahead.
In December, he gave me a call and said, hey, look, my dad's got some interest. He wants to save some money, and we need to get together and meet.
Yes.
And that's what happened. And that's how I showed you the difference between wholesale pricing
And that tier pricing
and which, good thing, tiered pricing is what we call retail pricing.
Right.
You go buy something wholesale, you come back and mark it up retail. That's what you were on at the time, retail pricing. Until I explained everything to you, put you on wholesale pricing, now you're saving some money on your processing.
I love the way we went through that process because this is what my people need.
Sure.
I'm talking about anybody that's associated with Sir Marketing, Sir Media Group, any of this stuff. That's why when I came to you and I said, okay, when we met each other,
right.
I said, I have this feeling inside that I want to process. And I wasn't really wanting to be a processor. That's not important to me.
Right.
What's important to me is that you work with my business associates.
Absolutely.
To help them get those rates, and even educate them.
Absolutely.
About the rates and the tiers and all that stuff.
Right.
This is why this is just, I call this an introductory to the market, to my associates, because I want to be able to help people be able to log on to Sir Media Group,
Right.
and they see the different interviews, which leads them to understand how to make a decision,
Absolutely.
an educated decision,
Right.
on how to process it and be able to be at ease with somebody like you.
Absolutely.
And we just get to know you a little bit better.
Right.
And tell us how simple it is for you to even look at and make an analysis on their report.
That's a good question. Just like anybody, that has a merchant account, you have a statement that
Yes.
comes to you once a month.
Yes.
Now, statements were not really made for merchants to understand.
Now that I can agree with.
Right. But that's the reason why I'm pretty much...
That's the part that really drives me
Right.
to help my associates.
Right. Your statement, you get your statement, you look at it like a bill, and you think you're paying good rates, but you're really not. The statement tells me the snapshot of the business
Yes.
and how effective you're processing.
Wow.
So what happens is it takes me 2 or 3 minutes, 2 calculations to see where you're at.
That's what made me want to get a little bit more involved with you.
Absolutely.
Because of that simple process.
Right.
You know what I mean? Easy, simple.
Right.
And then you taught it to me. You said, see there? This is where you... And I said,
And it
it's not me wanting to say, man, that dude been beat me for years. You got me to understand that this is the way the game is played.
Right.
Just the ones that take the time out and ask for more information, get more information.
And that's what it's all about, more information. I understand you run a business. You have a bottom line. You want to save money.
Right.
Okay, and that's where I come in. A lot of people think they're paying great rates, and some people are.
Yeah.
But if you're not, I'm going to tell you.
Right.
And that's how we put
But
them
if
on.
they do have great rates, what are you going to do?
Well, if they have great rates, I'm going to tell you.
Right.
You're
I can't touch it.
You're fine. You're
Yeah.
fine. One of the things I'm not going to do is bamboozle you, lie to you, rob, and steal from you. I'm not in this
Well, it's
business.
going to come out. Well, the fact that you gave me,
Sure.
and the facts that you give others. If you lie to me, my processor. I'm gonna take it back to my processor.
Mm-hmm.
But see, facts are right there in front of you. When you do
In
that
black and white.
when you do that simple division,
Sure.
it's right there.
Right.
So if I try to take you out of something and I know it's good, my process is gonna tell, and I say, show me. I'm gonna put my process in front of you.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Absolutely.
If I see that, just approve.
Right.
Just like you get a second opinion on your medical.
That's all it is. And the thing about it, when I look at your statement, I'm going to tell you, so you know what, your process is doing good for you.
Nice.
Stay with them.
Nice. That's what I like about you.
At the same time, if you're paying a little bit too much, or you're getting taken to the bank, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to educate you.
Yes.
I'm going to show you number for number.
That's what I love about you, man.
Right.
Because when I make that call, I get an answer.
Absolutely.
I may not get it right away, but I get a return. And
Right.
that's what's important, right?
Right. Let me reiterate on that point. You brought a good point up. There's 2 reasons why people like yourself don't stay with their processes.
And I know them, so you're
One, because they're paying too much money.
Yes.
2, because of customer service. That's
or
it.
both.
Or both. In your particular case, it was a little bit of both, but right now you've been processing with me and everything's been working out
See,
great.
this is the deal. See, a lot of people don't, saving money is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But when you save a lot of money,
Mm-hmm.
that's another thing.
Absolutely.
Because most of the people that hear my voice right now, that know me or don't know me,
Right.
know that when you saving money, when you wholesale like me,
Right.
and I process a lot of things.
You sure do.
And those pennies you think are just pennies, man, they add up. And I wish I could go back 5 years
Right.
just to recapture that.
Right. Right.
I was so intrigued with what you were doing for us. I want you to help other people. That's
Right.
the main thing.
Right.
So, anything else, you really want my constituents in the world to know about, just what the entry portion of wholesale pricing. Take us home with that. Tell us one more thing. Wrap that whole thing, because we're going to talk more about that in depth.
Yeah,
the next,
we sure are.
The next conversation.
We sure are. Well, here's the thing: what merchants have to understand when you're processing credit cards, we're all out there as far as agent. I am an agent.
Yes.
I'm out there to make residual income.
Absolutely.
Okay. And one of the things is that most agents are really not going to tell you about wholesale pricing. They're not. Okay, and there's nothing.
Well, now I will stop you there.
Sure.
Because you said agents are not going to tell you. I would recommend that make sure you know your facts before with Gary. Let him prove to you what you're getting before you mention the wholesale price to your processor. It doesn't make any sense. That's like telling the robber that I'll be home at 5, calling with a cell phone. I'll be home in about 5 minutes, okay?
Right.
Okay, so go ahead.
Right. So
wait a minute, so do yourself a favor, hold this is valuable information that you just don't want to share with your processor until you know the rest, okay?
Right.
So we'll talk later.
So going back to wholesale pricing, there's two types of prices. You have wholesale pricing, and then you have what you call tiered pricing.
Yes.
Okay, and to make it short and simple, tiered pricing is where the profit's already built into the pricing, and that's what most merchants have out there. Wholesale pricing is just like anything else. To keep it simple, you go buy something wholesale, you mark it up retail.
They go to Sam's.
Absolutely. So that's where I come in, is to give you a little bit of information, looking at your statement.
Yes.
I can see in about 2 minutes where you're at.
Yes.
And then I can pretty much make a determination if you have wholesale pricing or if you had tiered pricing.
If somebody was processing $10,000 a month.
That's a good number.
Okay.
Okay.
On tiered pricing.
Sure.
And you get them into wholesale on the average. Now, we're not saying everybody's going to, on the average. Well, if somebody was processing $250,000 a month, obviously the company's going to give you a better wholesale price. But you're doing $10,000, but I mean, you still got to make money, but you're going to save them. How much can somebody save? Let's say some numbers. They're processing about 3%.
Right.
There you go.
That's a good number.
Okay.
Well, if you're processing, 3% is not a bad number. That's where you need to be at.
No, it's a good number. That's decent if you're just doing some retailing and another big.
Right. If you're processing about $10,000 and you're at what we call the tiered pricing, remember I said there's two, tiered pricing, wholesale pricing. Tiered pricing is not as good as wholesale pricing. But if you're doing $10,000 and you're on the tiered pricing, I can come in and put you on wholesale pricing. I guarantee it's going to cut your bill about 20 to 30% over the next 30 to 60 days.
Put that in money terms.
Well, in other words, if you're paying an average of on the $10,000 a month processing, and you're paying about $250 to $300, and if I put you in wholesale pricing, I can get you down to about $200 to maybe $150, all depending on what type of cards you're processing a month. So the bottom line, if I'm going to save you $50 to $60 a month, if you times that times 12, that's almost $600 to $700 a month. For some people, that's a car note or even a mortgage.
Yeah.
And that's where the numbers come in. That's where I become the expert.
You can travel with that money.
Absolutely.
I take my wife on vacation.
Absolutely.
That vacation I couldn't do, now I take it back from my processor and take my wife somewhere.
Right, absolutely.
Or my husband. Sorry.
Right, absolutely. It all depends on what you like to do, but at the same time, this is very, very valuable knowledge. Okay, and especially if you've been in the business and you don't look at your statement.
This is awesome.
What I do is free.
Yes.
This information is free.
God, I can't wait till we go to the next conversation.
Right.
Because it's gonna be really breaking it on down.
Oh, absolutely.
And really getting them to that next level where they need to be.
Right.
Because there's so many other things that you do for.
There's a lot of things I do. There's a lot of things I do.
So we'll be dealing with that as we go forward.
No.
But I do want to thank you.
No problem. I thank
for coming on the show and teaching, preaching, whatever it takes.
Sure.
For people. Again,
Absolutely.
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Clank, clickety, clank. The money goes into my piggy bank. Clickety, clank, clickety, clank. The money goes into my piggy bank. Yeah, yeah, get more money, more money. Yeah, 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 get more money, more money. Yeah, 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 get more money, more money. Yeah, 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 get more money.